Hi guys, I'm back with episode 3. Sorry for the delay. My camera was being somewhat of a douchebag last night. And this is my second football episode, complete with football shirt as well. Come on, you Irons! This is my January transfer deadline special, where in this episode I will be discussing all things January transfer window. The first club I want to mention, it's not very often that this club gets mentioned with big name signings, but Galatasaray. They normally slip under everyone's radar and playing in the Turkish league, which isn't exactly the greatest league in the world, in all fairness. Um, but they've managed to pull off, let's just say, a couple of fantastic, decent, world-class signings in Wesley Sneijder and Didier Drogba. Fantastic signings for the club, in my opinion. Didier Drogba done really, really well at Chelsea. Wesley Sneijder's a big world star with Holland and Inter Milan, and in my opinion, it's not just fantastic for the club, but fantastic for the Turkish league as well. Going to be really pulling in audiences because when Drogba obviously went to China, the Chinese league attracted a lot more audience than it used to. And you can't say I've gone there for the money either because even though they brought these players, Galatasaray aren't exactly the richest club in the world, so it's not as if they're going there for the money either. It's not like clubs like Chelsea, Man City, and QPR where players these days go to play for the money. It's a case of going there for the football, and good luck to both players. I think they'll do really well. And good luck to Galatasaray as well. These signings show that they intend to try and be not just one of Turkey's big boys, but one of Europe's big boys as well. And good luck to them. The main signing of this transfer window, however, despite them big ones at Galatasaray, the main one has to be Mr. Golden Balls himself, David Beckham, going to Paris Saint-Germain. And this interested me, this one, because when he first joined, everyone was saying, well, apart from me, because I didn't believe it for 1 second, everyone was like, he's going to PSG for the money. I'm sorry, but why would someone like David Beckham need money? You know, he's got to be one of the richest men in the world. He's one of the most model professionals in the world. He does not need money. He loves playing football, simple as that. He was at Manchester United for the love of football. He was at Real Madrid for the love of football. He was at AC Milan for the love, LA Galaxy for the love, and he's going to do exactly the same at PSG. He's 37. He's had a good career and he wants to go out in style, in my opinion. That is why he joined PSG, for no other reason whatsoever. And in truth, those people that said he joined for the money were silenced because he said he's donating all of his wage to a children's charity in France, which I think is totally amazing. And if all professional footballers done that, then this sport would have a much better reputation, in my opinion. Another club I want to mention, just quickly, my local club where I'm a season ticket holder, the mighty Dagenham and Redbridge. Not normally the most active of clubs in the transfer window, but we've managed to bring back our old hero, Ben Strevens, as striker. He's re-signed from us for Gillingham, where he wasn't doing that much, to be honest, so he thought he'd come back, give us a call, and he's rejoined. So yeah, can't wait to the next home game, see him back in a Dagenham Redbridge shirt, and let's hope he is the player that can turn our flailing season around, because quite frankly we need it at the moment. We haven't got a goal scorer since Dwight Gale left, so I think Ben Strevens is the man that could turn it around for us. I was a bit disappointed with the Premier League in general this transfer window, although two signings in particular, like in between Premier League clubs, stood out for me. Demba Ba to Chelsea and Daniel Sturridge to Liverpool. This one did baffle me a bit though, because I struggle to work out how Daniel Sturridge is worth more than Demba Ba. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Sturridge, fantastic player, he is worth 12 million, but I think Newcastle could have done a lot more to try and up that release clause in Demba Ba's contract, because they could have got a lot more than the £7.5 million that they actually did get for him. And he's already proven his worth, scoring a few goals in his first two appearances for Chelsea. Daniel Sturridge as well, proving his worth for Liverpool. And I think Daniel Sturridge will be a real decent signing, because I've already seen the way he links up with Luis Suarez, the link-up play, absolutely fantastic. So, I think it's a real great coup for Liverpool. When they first signed him, I thought, really, not too sure, but changed my opinion having seen him play a few games. Absolutely brilliant. One man, obviously, wouldn't be a football podcast without mentioning Mr. Balotelli, the ever wonderful, colourful Mr. Balotelli has sadly left the Premier League to take his antics back to Italy. We will miss him. We won't have no more bathrooms being caught on fire. We won't have no more tramps getting £1,000. We won't have no more money being thrown around. We won't have no more high fives. won't have no more darts youth team players. I could be here all day. The list goes on. We won't have no more fights managers, but the truth is he will be missed in the Premier League. And good luck to him abroad. I hope he gets on well, because if he gets his head together, he has the great potential, and he will be a fantastic player. He has the potential to be a world beater. Just look at him at Euro 2012, and you can tell that. And good luck to Mr. Balotelli. I want to talk about my club now, West Ham United. I was a bit disappointed with us this transfer window, to be fair. I was waiting for a big name to come in. And other than Joe Cole, I was there on his homecoming return against Manchester United like he's never been away. Go on, you Irons. We haven't really signed no one. The biggest name we probably got was Marouane Chamakh, and from what I've seen of him, well, he has lived up to expectation, because he's been a bit crap, to be quite honest, like everyone thought he would be. But no, give him his due. He's played a couple of games. He hasn't played too well, but we'll see how he does rest of the season. And after Andy Carroll scored today as well, places will be limited. So I'm hoping we can see more of him, but let's just hope he plays better than he has been. Obviously, our other signing, Wellington Paulista, no one's seen him play yet, so we can't pass judgment on him. Emmanuel Pogatetz was one who I thought was a bit dodgy. Sean Maguire, striker with bags of potential. Be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what he's like. And one player I'm glad we did get rid of, Alou Diarra. I said in my first podcast that he should just go if he's not happy at West Ham, and he did go. He's gone on loan to Rennes, so good riddance, and he can stay there and break his leg. For all I'm concerned about. One thing that did annoy me about my club as well during this transfer window is the ongoing saga of Mohamed Diame. Obviously, he's our key player, and none of us knew what was happening until about 10 PM on Thursday night, when we heard that his release clause had been met, and then it turns out it hadn't been met, and then it turns out his agent had got involved. So, agents, please try and stay out of football deals, because you're ruining the game. Although, one thing that did annoy me about Diame himself, if he loved the club, he could really have accepted the new contract and upped the release clause. So that did annoy me a bit about Mohamed Diame, but it's great that we kept him. He's a key player, and he's really one for the future. Even if we don't keep him beyond this season, he could be the real key in us, or what is now turned into us just staying up this season. So fantastic. That's the best bit of business we could have done this transfer window, and we pulled it off. And that's keeping our star player. Another club I want to mention is Queen's Park Rangers. It wouldn't be a transfer window, of course, without the big spenders of Queen's Park Rangers. And I think they got some real good signings this window. Jermaine Genius, he hasn't been around for a few years, but he'll be a great addition to the team. Andros Townsend, a bright young player. But most notably, Christopher Samba, who has joined from Annecy. An interesting one, this. The initial fee is 12 million, which is about right. But overall, it cost the club £34 million. Now, I know QPR are rich, but they're bottom of the Premier League, you know. Their chances of survival, the way I've been playing this season as well, are very slim. So they're not going to be able to afford £34 million. I'm sorry. I know you've got all the money in the world, but, you know, paying players, you know, ridiculous amounts when you're bottom of the Premier League isn't the best idea. I mean, look at Loic Remy. He's gone only for the money. What's he going to do when they go down? He's going to sod off, isn't he? To somewhere like Manchester City, if they want him, because that's all he's there for. He's there for the money. He's not there to play Premier League football. Because they're in a relegation battle, and when you join a club in a relegation battle, you don't join to play Premier League football. You join for one reason only normally, and that's for the cash, or for the love of the game. And I think it's pretty clear that Loic Remy doesn't love the game, because he turned down Newcastle when a club with more money coming for the offer. So, nice little there. One thing that did interest me as well with QPR deadline day, the mysterious case of Peter Odemwingie. What the hell, Mr. Odemwingie, do you think he was doing? This was an interesting one. He claimed that West Brom had given him permission to speak to Queen's Park Rangers, so he turns up at their training ground, or at their actual ground rather, and he doesn't get let in and wonders why, when apparently West Brom had not given such permission to Mr. Odemwingie to speak to QPR. Therefore, QPR didn't speak to him, but he was still under the impression that he was joining QPR. And he was going on about it, all deadline day. Oh yeah, I've had a great 3 years at West Brom, I'm joining QPR now. And it never went through. What a twat. and he has now been banned from training for a week. So it serves him right, to be honest. When players, I mean, he doesn't want to go for football. He wants to go for the money, of course. I mean, he tried to pay West Brom £300,000 to get rid of him. You don't do that to a club that's been loyal to you for 3 years when you've been their star player and everyone loves you. You don't treat a club like that. You know, he's gone down in my estimations. I thought he was a great professional, but not anymore. The way he acted was silly, and I think he's let himself down, he's let his club down, and quite frankly, Peter Roddenwingy has let the fans down, so I'm a bit disappointed with him in that one, but at least it gave us some entertainment on what was otherwise a crap deadline day. One club that always gets mentioned, normally in a negative way in the deadline day, is Arsenal. More renowned nowadays for a selling club rather than buying club, but they did pull off a big bit of, well, I've never seen him play, but I know people that have seen him play and have said this guy's brilliant. They've pulled off a great bit of business. Nacho Monreal, they're the left back that they signed. Now I haven't seen him play yet, but from what I've heard, he's a fantastic player. So it's good to see that Arsenal are actually spending the money, not big money, but on players that can really do a job for them and make a name for themselves in the Premier League. I mean, I've never heard of this guy, but everyone's ranting and raving about him, so he must be something, you know. He's a left back as well, so he provides some more cover in what's been a rather leaky Arsenal defence this season. Another club that interested me was Aston Villa. They're doing so poor this season. Knocked out the Capital One Cup by Bradford, knocked out the FA Cup by Millwall, fighting a relegation battle in the Premier League. Do you sign anyone? No, apart from an unknown player whose name I can't even remember, from the French second division, because that's going to keep you in the Premier League, isn't it? A bit of a strange one, to be quite honest. I mean, I appreciate what Paul Lambert's doing. He's bringing up a young, up-and-coming team, but he needs to sign experience. I mean, when you want experience in midfield, you look at clubs like Fulham. They've got people like Damien Duff, would be a great target for a club like Aston Villa. You've got players like Danny Murphy at Blackburn Rovers. He'd be a great player for Aston Villa. So who'd you go to? A 22-year-old unknown in the French second division? Well, that's genius, Mr. Lambert, isn't it? You know, that's really going to keep you in the Premier League. A player that's, once again, another player that's just about out of nappies. Well done, sir. Well, not finally, penultimately, Lewis Holtby, player that I'm really looking forward to seeing in the Premier League. Signed for Tottenham Hotspur, was due to join in the summer. They paid extra to bring the deal forward, and I am quite happy about this. As much as I don't like Tottenham Hotspur, being a West Ham fan, I think he'll bring a new dimension to the Premier League, and already being touted as the next Jurgen Klinsmann. And if he is, that'll be fantastic, because we haven't had a decent German player in the Premier League for a long while. I mean, I thought Lucas Podolski was going to crack it at Arsenal, but he hasn't quite made it yet. So I'm hoping Lewis Holtby can bring a new bit of European flair to the Premier League, and good luck to him. He's a fantastic player. I have seen him play on some occasions, and yeah, good luck, Lewis Holtby, in England, and I'm sure you'll enjoy your time in the Premier League. That's it, really. Overall, to be honest, disappointed this year with transfer deadline day. No real big movers on the day other than David Beckham, and quite frankly, I feel that I stayed up for nothing. But seeing Jim White on telly as ever was always a pleasure, and the Peter Roddenwingy saga kept us entertained at least. Well, that's it for the third episode of Arrons podcast. Sorry it's not as entertaining as my last one, but I did say that my next one would be on football, so you knew what to expect really when you clicked on the link to watch the video. So that was my transfer deadline day special, and I'll be back next week with my weird and wacky review of 2013 so far, and I'll be giving my shoutouts in my next video next week. Thank you for watching.